before Christianity, before Islam, before Buddhism or Judaism. There was a way of life, a civilization, a set of beliefs so ancient, its origins dissolve into the mists of prehistory. It wasn't forged by a single prophet, nor did it arise from a single book. Instead, it grew, layer by layer, from the soil of one of the world's oldest civilizations. It became the world's oldest continuous identity, the Hindu. But who is Hindu? Is it a religion, a race, a culture, or is it something far deeper and far older than most of us have ever been told? Peel back the myths, the labels, the centuries of misunderstanding, and you might just find that the answer is as vast and complex as history itself. Let's begin with the word itself, Hindu. You won't find it in the Vedas, the oldest sacred texts of India. The ancient rishis who composed those hymns never called themselves Hindu. The word Hindu comes from an outsider's tongue. Persian invaders, gazing across the mighty Sindhu River, now known to us as the Indus, called the people beyond it Hindus. The Greeks who followed turned Hindu into Indus, and from there the land became India. Before it was a faith, it was a geography, a civilization, a way of life marked by the flow of the river and the rhythms of the land. For most of ancient history, to be Hindu was not about what you worshipped. It was about where you lived, and how you thought. It was a civilizational identity, not a religious one. It was rooted in a land, but even more so in the tapestry of customs, beliefs, and philosophies that grew there over millennia. To understand this ancient identity, we must look to the sprawling timeline of Indian civilization. The Indus-Saraswati civilization, with its enigmatic seals, advanced urban planning, and possible ritual fire altars, flourished thousands of years ago. In its ruins, we find echoes of practices that would later become central to Hindu traditions. Then came the Vedic age, where sacred hymns were recited by the banks of rivers, and fire became the medium through which humans reached out to the divine. But even the Vedic period is just one layer in this civilizational continuum. Hinduism, if we must use that word, predates organized religion as we know it. It's not the product of a single revelation or a charismatic founder. There is no Moses, no Jesus, no Muhammad. Instead, there are countless sages, teachers and seekers, each adding their own verse to the unending song. Beliefs in karma, the moral law of cause and effect, reincarnation, and the cosmic order called Rita appear in the earliest texts, the Rig Veda, which may be over 300-500 years old. Over time, ideas evolved and merged. Philosophies flourished and competed. Dualists and monists, theists and atheists, ritualists and renunciates all called themselves Hindu. There is no single doctrine, no single path. The Bhagavad Gita says, "As many paths as there are, they all lead to me." It's a tradition that has always allowed for difference, debate, and diversity. It birthed not just spiritual practices like yoga and meditation, but also advances in mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy, systems the world still uses today. What then makes someone a Hindu? In 1966, the Supreme Court of India tried to answer this question. They found no single founder, no central authority, and no uniform doctrine. They saw a tradition that accepts an incredible diversity of beliefs. You can be a devotee of Vishnu, a worshipper of the fierce goddess Kali, or a non-theistic seeker in the Sankhya or yoga schools, and still be Hindu. Even atheists have a place within Hindu thought. Being Hindu is not about rigid dogma, but about a shared vision of the universe, time, and human destiny. It's a tradition that sees the cosmos as an endless cycle, not a one-way journey. It's a worldview that values balance, duty, and liberation, what Indians call Dharma and Moksha. The sacred is seen everywhere, in the river, the tree, the mountain, the mind. For thousands of years, Hindu ideas have flowed beyond India's borders. In ancient times, Hinduism spread throughout Southeast Asia, shaping the cultures of Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Even today, Bali remains a vibrant Hindu-majority island. Hindu thought influenced the rise of Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, faiths that share concepts like karma, dharma, and liberation. Elements of Hindu philosophy even found their way into early Middle Eastern thought. In the modern era, yoga, Ayurveda, meditation, and the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita have been embraced by millions across the globe, from New York to Nairobi. This ancient identity has shaped civilizations, ideas, and spiritual systems far beyond the subcontinent. It has inspired emperors and artists, scientists and philosophers, seekers and skeptics. The Hindu identity is not rooted in belief, but in belonging to the oldest living cultural matrix in the world. Yet, the story of Hindu identity is not just one of philosophy and spirituality. It is also a story of politics, power, and change. Under Islamic rule, Hindu became a label for all non-Muslims. British colonial rulers went further, classifying Indians by religion. For the first time, Hinduism was described as a distinct, organized religion, a product of colonial imagination as much as indigenous tradition. In the 20th century, as India struggled for independence, new movements arose. The idea of Hindutva sought to link Hindu identity with Indian nationalism, sparking fierce debates that continue to this day. Is the Hindu identity a spiritual quest or a political project? Is it inclusive and global or exclusive and nationalist? The debate rages on, in Parliament, in the diaspora, and in the hearts of millions. So, who is Hindu? A worshipper of many gods, or none? A scientist, a seeker, a farmer, a philosopher? Someone who sees the universe not as a battlefield of good versus evil, but as an eternal dance of balance, duty, and liberation. Being Hindu isn't about conversion. It's about continuity. A 5,000-year-old river of ideas still flowing today. Perhaps it's not just the world's oldest identity, but its most resilient one. If you thought you knew what Hindu meant, think again. The truth is both simpler and more profound than any label can capture. Hindu is not just a word, a religion, or a culture. It is a civilization alive, evolving, and still shaping the destiny of the world. Like, share. Subscribe to the History Alchemists for more untold truths of civilization.